Alrighty, so Trey, you have done a lot for JSU and around campus. What is your biggest thing that has changed that you have seen due to COVID here at the university?
Uh, I mean, other than, mask and social distancing and stuff like that, now that things are actually loosening back up, it still is different to see how many people kind of stay away from campus and, they go here, but they go to class, get food, and then just go back to their apartment. I miss how it was like my sophomore year because any night during the rec, you couldn't find a parking spot because there'd be, pick up basketball games, people just hanging out all over, everywhere. And now people are just kind of more to themselves and staying closer to their tight knit friend groups rather than trying to go out as much. But
Yeah.
it may be for cautious reasons, which to each his own. But I do kind of miss how lively campus was before COVID.
Yeah, I gotcha. You worked as an RA last year, and COVID has made a lot of jobs harder. What was something that made the RA job a lot harder for you due to COVID?
Well, since I lived in the fraternity houses and I was fraternity house RA, it was a little bit different because I didn't have to, check people into our house every time. But during the week, I had 3 desk shifts at Pinnell Hall, which is actually the same place where they had the quarantine zone. So for the first 2 months, whenever people really got sick on campus, there was high numbers. I had to take, food, knock on doors, and check people, to see who's got their food today or all of that. But other than that, being with the guys at the fraternity house wasn't too bad because they, for the most part, listened and didn't break too many rules.
Yeah.
So we got through, and it wasn't too bad.
Well, good. All right. As a member of Kappa Sigma, social events became harder and harder to have. What was some stuff that you had to do to be able to have some of those events? I know it was a little harder for us.
Yeah, especially now that it's a little bit more lax, we are able to do things. But last year, I remember we had certain social zones where he was like, green, yellow, red, or like all that. And that was just based on the numbers, the cases, and all of those things. And since our fraternity house was technically a university building, if we were in a certain zone, we couldn't have a certain event. So we couldn't have chapters some weeks we could. Some weeks we were able to have people over at the house and just hang out. But now that we're kind of starting to move past that, people are getting vaccinated and getting better, and that seems to be the way we're going. We're starting to get back to a more normalcy where we don't have to fill out an event guide like we did last year for every single little thing that we do, which is a lot easier on our part, and it's also more fun for everybody that they're able to come out and be safe and still have a good time.
Nice. Okay. During the summer, you worked as a go leader. Did COVID make that hard in any way, or was it pretty lax? Because I know it was kind of dwindling down during the summer.
Well, it for the whole go leader process, there's a lot of information to learn. So in the spring, we take a class, and we also go on a retreat and have to do things like that. And in the class and everything, we had to wear masks and this, that, and the other. And even on the retreat, since it was a JSU sanctioned event and we were a part of JSU staff, we still had to apply by the guidelines. So we could only, have 2 people sharing a room. You had to have a mask on in common areas. And this is like a cabin by the lake. So most of the time when you're one of those, you think to relax, but we still had to follow protocol. And we did because, we take our jobs very seriously. And that was difficult because we had to do, some workouts just because with the singing and dancing on stage, you have to be actually physically fit. So doing that in a mask and just also trying to sing and all that in a mask, it was rough. But thankfully, by the time actual orientations rolled around during the summer, we was looking up and there weren't many cases, and Alabama kind of was able to lift some of the restrictions. So we got to have a pretty normal orientation on our part. I don't think there was really much of anything that changed other than how many people we could have in the auditorium. But on the day before our first one, it actually changed where we got to have a full auditorium. There was no restrictions.
Gotcha.
And until our very last orientation, which was a makeup one in August, right before school started, then we all had to wear masks out of nowhere, social distance. It was you gave us all this, and the worst part was having to go back to square one, especially when you did 13 sessions without having any changes and then have one. But it was still a lot of fun, and I'm grateful enough to actually be going back and doing it again this next summer. just because it's the best job I've ever had, and really enjoyed the team bonding, and I can't wait to see what our new team looks like this upcoming week. So
Well, awesome. Well, Trey, that's all I have for you. Thank you for doing the interview, buddy.
thank you, Connor.